thank you for being here. Welcome to Oxford High School and a day of celebration for Mason Mims and his family, and also a day of celebration for Oxford High School. Anytime we have a student athlete that takes to further his education through his athletic endeavors, we're often proud of it. And it's not only Mason, but everybody that's involved in it. I think Mason will be the first to tell you that he's not here because of himself. He's here because of a lot of people involved, family members, old coaches that are family members, and teammates, and you, people that said you've been a long road for it, and especially his coaches that have led along the way. Coach Adams is going to talk about Mason. You've got a special player for us. What I'd like to say to Mason himself is, Mason, we've had a lot of terrific guys here. You're another one of those guys. But I don't know that we've ever had anybody that has handled the process the way you've handled it, and with such pride in class, and also the way you conducted yourself holding knots teams. You've been a great addition to our family. I'll always say this, I say it to everybody, you'll always have some light to go in it, and you'll always be the old deck. You've got a great future ahead of you.
As this football coach, sometimes the other things that you get asked to do along the way are always the most fun parts. Try to get called to fit, trying to fit games, and then sometimes other things can kind of be a drag. Adam actually says to me, walking in the hallways, how much do you hate stuff like this? I said, well, I actually enjoy these. This is just a celebration of an immense amount of hard work over time. Something that a lot of kids would die for this opportunity that Mason has in front of them. And I'm gonna get emotional talking, so we'll just go ahead and get that out here. It's gonna happen. We've known for a long time that Mason was a very special player, special teammate. And in a whole bunch of ways, was super successful for the first time he put on that gold helmet a couple of years ago. And really over time, I've kind of told people this several times over his career here, is that you can't just watch him for one game to fully appreciate the kind of player that he is. And that's true. I mean, you got to see him game in and game out. You got to know what it's like to see him on the practice field day in and day out, practice against him day in and day out. And also, what most people don't get to see is, the kind of person that he is day to day time. In a day where today on signing day, the guys who seem to get the most attention are the flip guys. No, there's the whole idea of loyalty gets lost in this whole thing along the way. And one of the things I'm most proud of about Coach Davies mentioned a minute ago is that the way he handled this thing, he found what he feels like, and I feel like it's a great fit for him in a whole bunch of ways. And there have been other schools that have tried to come in and get him to do the flip kind of deal, and that's just not who he is. Really, as coaching him over 3 years, we know that he's going to make an immense amount of correct decisions back to back. I mean, the way that we play requires our quarterback to make a decision on every single snap of the game, almost. Even when we're running the ball, it's not just, we don't just call a run play, he catches the snap and hand it off. He got to make a decision on whether to hand it to throw, whether to throw to. And so there's a lot that goes into that. Really, once the game gets started, the whole idea of calling plays in the game, most of that goes to him. Once the ball's kicked off, he's got the keys to the call. And it's good, bad, or indifferent. He's driving it from that point on. And he did an unbelievable job in that over 3 years. Like I told people, you really got to see him a few times to fully appreciate how good he is. I didn't realize in the big picture where he stands. I'm much because now I know how much he's prepared for every single time he goes out there. So last couple of days, really about a year or 2 weeks ago, I was talking with Coach Brooks, and we're kind of thinking, can he be the all-time leading passer in Oxford High School history? And did some research on that, and that kind of led to more research and more research and more research. So the next slide of the book, there's a whole lot of words, and that's like Cardinal said for PowerPoint to put a bunch of words on the screen, a bunch of numbers on the screen. But these are all off of there. Here's the, I'll give you we'll go through it all. 3 years, 37 starts, 8,405 career passing yards, which puts him the #1 high school history in 34 years of football. Puts him as the #3 all-time passer in 6A football in the state of Alabama, and the #11 all-time passer in Alabama high school history, regardless of class. Moving down the list. And I didn't know this one until actually today. Our first game this year, we go to Central Carolina, goes 487 yards. That was the #1 all-time passing performance for a 6A quarterback. According to the yards he get. #24 all-time. This season, 3,617 yards puts in at #4 all-time in 6A. Career completion percentage, #1 all-time in 6A football, 70.7%. #2 all-time regardless of class. He's within a point and a half, a percentage point and a half of being the all-time completion percentage leader. This year, 255 completions, which is #2 all-time. Started 37 games, and this came up in the last week in our coaching staff meeting. We were trying to figure, I knew early in the season he was on a pretty good string as far as consecutive games with touchdown passes thrown, and I didn't want to look it up. Kind of like in baseball, you got no hitter going. Like I didn't want to have that in my brain in a game, but there was only one game that he started which he did not throw a touchdown pass. And that was a game which he got injured and did play at halftime. Yes. So 37 career starts, he threw a touchdown pass to 36 of 37. That would have been 2022, his first year as a starter, about game 8, if I remember correctly, of that season. He separated his shoulder, and then actually it's game 9, center point, 22. And then what a lot of people don't really fully realize, the extra play, game 10, 8 and game 11 with a separated throwing shoulder, and still competed at a high level, which is not easy to do. No matter how healthy your shoulder may not be, it's hard to compete as a 6A quarterback. But to do it, to play through that for his teammates, and to throw touchdown passes after that game in 2022, 28 games in a row, in which he's thrown at least one touchdown pass. Most of those games have been more than So when you look at it in this from this kind of standpoint, I mean, you're doing Mount Rushmore all-time 6A quarterbacks in the state of Alabama. Mason Mims is thought and he's not that worth you out. And I hope everybody understands how much time goes into this. Aside from football practice, aside from football meetings, I mean, this is not something you just fall into overnight. You don't just show up for practice and then go home and end up with this kind of production. So I'm proud of just the way that he's going about his business and every single way. And it's not by chance that my son's wearing a 16 jersey. Sit right back. And if you can tell me right now, what happens would grow up to be just like Mason, I'd take it right now. And he's meant that much to me and our family, to his teammates, to this school, and I know he's going to be super successful going forward in football, and well after football is over, he's going to be successful in whatever he decides to do there. Now he's going to start doing the great work. They say in front of him. It's a good ass to be right.
Had a big evening tonight, talking about a place that you're very familiar with. Just talk about what this means to you, what it means to Oxford High School, and what it means to be Louisville.
For me personally, it is a little bit of a full circle moment. I spent several years in Louisville, at the University of Louisville, coaching back at the beginning of my career, and we've been around several of the guys that are on that staff. More importantly, on Mason's standpoint, I mean, it's a perfect fit for him. Style of play wise, coaching staff wise, he'll fit in great up there, and I know they'll give him all the tools he needs to be extremely successful. For our program, I mean, I think it's just it's kind of a proof of concept type thing. We believe in what we do here, and our players believe in it. And you see now he ran our offensive system as well as I can imagine ever being run by anybody. And the amount of success he had this year was not a surprise to any of us.
And this ain't the last time we've seen the Mims name here at Oxford.
Yeah. I mean, we do have a few more Mims in the quarterback depth chart going down to 6 or 8 from here. So, hopefully those guys will be able to produce similar numbers to what Mason has, and each of those guys will be their own man at the same time. So that'll be a unique and fun experience for me.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a big day. Just tell me your thoughts right off the bat.
I could have done it. Just good. I'm very grateful for my family. Very grateful for
Excited to head up to the Ville?
yes, sir. I'm very excited. Ready to get there and work.
So talking about Louisville, I mean, you're following in the line of some really well-known quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson. What's your thoughts about that?
It's awesome. One of the main reasons I committed for the best kids in the coach for them with the best programs. They just have big minds everywhere, and I feel like ultimate goals are playing like this. And I feel like that's the best situation.
Mason, it's been a pleasure. We've had fun watching you grow, watching you become a man. And so we want to thank you on behalf of all the Yellow Jacket Nation.